The wise son. Once there was a wise king. He had 2 sons. He appointed eminent scholars to teach them all arts. After a few years, the king fell ill badly. So he wanted to select the next king for his kingdom. He wanted to test his sons' abilities. He called both of them and gave them a room to each one. He said, "You must fill your room completely with anything you wish. It can be anything. But there should not be any space left behind and you should not seek advice from others." The next day, the king visited the elder son's room. The room was completely filled with hay. The king sighed on the foolishness of the elder son. He went to the room given to the younger son. But it was kept closed. The king knocked at the door. The younger son asked his father to get in and closed the door again. There was darkness everywhere and the king shouted at his son angrily. But the younger son lighted a candle and said, "I have filled this room with light." Now the king felt very happy and hugged his son proudly. He understood that the younger son would be the right person to rule the kingdom. The ungrateful lion. In a dense forest, lived a fierce lion. He was very cruel. One day the lion was caught in a hunter's trap. One by one many animals passed by. "Please help me," pleaded the lion. But none of the animals listened to his plea. After a while, a man happened to come into the forest. He saw the lion. The lion said, "I will die of hunger and suffocation. Please help me out, oh kind man." The man was thoughtful. "I assure you I will never harm you. Please help me now. The hunter will be any time now," said the lion. The man felt sorry for the lion and set the beast free. As soon as the lion was free, he let out a fierce roar. "I have been trapped in the cage for a long time. I am hungry. I will have to eat you," said the lion, looking at the man. "But you promised that you would not harm me," said the man, in a meek tone. "Yes, I said that. But only to convince you to free me. Now, I am terribly hungry," said the lion. The terrified man thought quickly. He said, "All right, you can eat me. But let a judge decide if you are right in eating the person who has rescued you." The lion agreed. He was sure that no animal would speak against him. Just then a jackal came that way and the lion asked the jackal to be the judge. He addressed the lion, "Sir, would you please show me how it all happened?" The lion was only too willing. He entered the cage and closed the cage door. The jackal immediately bolted the cage from outside. Now the lion is trapped again. "Run away, you foolish man. And never offer help to anyone without thinking," said the jackal. The frightened man ran for his life. And the ungrateful lion was trapped in the cage again. The hunter came and took the lion away to his circus. The ugly tree. Long, long ago, in a dense forest there were thousands of tall and beautiful trees. They were happy, but proud of themselves. Among them there also an ugly tree whose branches were badly twisted. Its roots had uneven curves. All the trees made fun of that ugly tree. "How are you, hunchback?" The other trees always shouted and their laughter made the ugly tree feel sad. But he never raised a voice against them. The ugly tree thought, I wish I were as beautiful as the other trees. Why did God do this to me? Neither can I provide shade to the travelers, nor can the birds make their nests on me. Nobody needs me. One day, a woodcutter came to the forest. He took a look at the trees and said, These trees are lovely. I must cut them. As soon as he picked up his axe, the trees became frightened. Chop, 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 went the woodcutter's axe, and one by one the trees started to fall. None of us is going to be spared, screamed one of the beautiful trees. Soon that tree too was brought to ground by the woodcutter's axe. By now, the woodcutter had come near to the ugly tree. He had just raised his axe when suddenly he noticed how crooked the ugly tree was. This crooked tree seems to be useless for me. I cannot make long straight logs of this ugly tree, he thought. And he moved towards another beautiful tree. The ugly tree heaved a huge sigh of relief. He realized that by making him ugly, God had actually given him a boon. From that day the ugly tree never complained. He was happy with his crooked branches. He never forgot how he was spared from the woodcutter's axe, only because he was crooked and ugly. The trees and the lions. Far away from a kingdom there was a huge jungle. In that jungle, there were thousands of trees. Among them two were very good friends. They stood side by side. The same jungle was the home of many lions. Those lions used to kill other animals living in that jungle and eat them. The carcasses of the dead animals used to stink and a foul smell would hang in the air. The whole atmosphere was bad to live in. One day, the two trees, who were friends, were talking. The first tree said, These lions are polluting our jungle. We have to save our jungle from them. They must be driven out of this jungle. Yes, agreed the other tree. A wise old tree, who was listening to the friends, said, They might be polluting the air. But these wild creatures are keeping us safe from woodcutters. No woodcutter will dare to come into the forest which has lions. But this advice did not go into the minds of the trees. The two friends decided to frighten the animals away. That evening, the two trees started shaking violently. We will frighten the lions away. They will be so terrified that they will leave this jungle and never come back into this jungle, said the two friends and laughed aloud. The whole forest echoed with their laughter. Do not do that, shouted the wise tree. But the two friends did not listen. They began moving in the wind and making eerie noises. All the other wild animals in the forest were scared, seeing the two trees and the sounds they were creating. There is something happening in the forest. Let us run away, they said. All the animals fled the jungle. The two friends were happy. Now we can enjoy some fresh air, they said. But their joy was short-lived. One day a woodcutter came to the forest and started felling the trees. Now there is no fear of the ferocious lions, he muttered to himself. Soon there were other woodcutters. Seeing this, the wise tree said, "Now all of us will be doomed." The two friends cried out, "How foolish we have been! We should have listened to this wise tree." A little later the two tree friends were brought down by the woodcutter's axe. The trees and the lions are must. Day by day, more and more trees were destroyed by many woodcutters.